what up, squad? Welcome back to a day in the life with Melly Mel. I had been away for about a month, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be in a position where I can share my experiences with you. I'm so thankful for all of you that are still here. For the new subscribers recently, I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. For those of you who are not subscribed, but you stop by to check out the videos from time to time, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for all the shout outs for yesterday's video. Most of those comments were attached to my Facebook, so you're not going to see them here. But I appreciate all the feedback. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and that was a good experience for me to do something that I had not done before, and to taste something that I had not tasted before. So that was an experience all in itself. As I stated, I stepped away for about a month because I was trying to figure some stuff out. My life has taken somewhat of a turn from where I had imagined it would be at this point, and I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go from here. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to continue with this channel, if I wanted to even make the effort. And then I was able to talk to a couple people. There are a couple comments on my last video, and I was able to find that some people appreciated me sharing my life. So I'm here to do that, and hopefully it won't be boring to you. Hopefully you will find some interest in some of what I do. Hopefully you will get an insight on who I am, what I'm struggling with, what I'm triumphing over, things like that. And if I am able to bring in any guests, I will continue to do so. Otherwise, you're stuck with me and my day-to-day life and the things that I am going through. But today I just wanted to talk about my mental health. And I feel like I'm struggling and not quite sure what to do with that. I pride myself on the things that I have been able to get through in my past, the things that I have been able to accomplish. However, there always seems to be the one thing that never seems to work out, and that tends to be relationships. And I'm not quite sure why they never seem to work out. And I'm sure that me and my personality apparently has something to do with that. And I'm just struggling with trying to figure out who I am in comparison to who others are sometimes. Because I just don't understand why I can't keep a relationship going. I always thought that at some point I'd have my ride or die, my best friend, my lover, and someone that I could spend the rest of my life with. And I thought that I found that in Shay, and unfortunately that didn't work out. And we've talked since our breakup. We've had some good conversations. We've had some bad conversations. And yesterday kind of finally came to a head. And I just feel like I went off this roller coaster ride. And I am somewhat disappointed in myself because I promised myself I would not be mean, and that because she and I were best friends, that should be the main motivator of where we go from here, and that I could be there for her and I could support her in whatever she wanted to do from this point. And I felt that she could support me in where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do from this point as well. And I'm finding that being a friend with an ex probably isn't the best idea in the world. while you want to be there and you want to be supportive of every situation, I find it difficult to sit and listen about other people, and I'm sure she does too. But yesterday I was mean, and I probably said some things that I shouldn't have said. Will I take them back now? Probably not. I'm not going to reach out at this point. I feel like I've done a lot of that. It seems like no matter what happens with us, if we fight, if we have disagreements and we have arguments, I'm always the one trying to fix it. I'm always the one trying to make it better. And I refuse to do that at this point. I feel like not just her, if anybody at this point wants me in their life after a situation occurs, then they can be the one that reaches out. Although recently I have talked to someone who was quite a surprise. She has been very good at listening to my ramblings. Sometimes it's just a few minutes. Sometimes we find that it's been a couple hours and we're like, oh my goodness, we need to cut this off and get off the phone. She has given me some very good advice. And she has been there to listen to my ups and downs. And one of the good things about her is that she is good at telling me about myself. So telling me if she feels like something that I've said is wrong or not. So she doesn't just support the fact that it's me and she's just going to take my side. She also tells me when I've done something wrong or that I've responded to something in a bad way. So I appreciate her and all that she has done. If she's watching this video, she knows who she is. But recently, I had said to her that I felt like maybe I needed to go seek therapy. I am not against therapy in any way. I have done my fair share of hours with a stranger, trying to get at the bottom line of things that I was struggling with. I probably would not be where I am today had it not been for the therapist of the past, to just know when I am feeling a certain type of way, to be able to see the signs of when I'm hitting depression and all those types of things. I don't think I would be able to do without having some of that time to just talk things through. And I feel like maybe it's time to do that again. And the reason that I say that is because I struggle with, why can I not keep a relationship? So because Shay is the last relationship that I had, I can refer to that one. We met online. We hit it off right away. There was an instant connection. We became friends like right off the bat. And she came to visit, and everything just flowed from there. We did break up somewhere throughout that 2-year time span. And I think that's because I was getting nervous and I was getting scared about where that relationship was headed. But it wasn't long. I came back. I fixed it. And I think I came back 100% and I was all in. And then I asked her to marry me. She said yes. And then 3 months later, we're no longer together. And I can't for the life of me figure out what happened. How did we go from this strong connection? How did we go from being best friends to now being in a position where last night I basically said, fuck you. And yes, I used those words, fuck you. And I won't go into like the last week and the conversations that we've had. And if I did, some of you might say that it was probably appropriate for me to say fuck you. Some of you would probably say, wow, I can't believe that you did that. But I did, and here we are. And I'm not certain uh, what I'm going to be feeling about making that choice later on down the road. But for now, I feel like um, we have hit a place that we either go left or we go right or we go forward together. And I feel like over the last few days, me trying to be a friend and she's going left and I'm going right. And we're no longer on the same path that I thought we were on. So I'm not quite sure what I feel about now losing my best friend. So not only did I lose my future wife, I now have lost my best friend as well. And that might have been for the best. And, over the last, I'd say, month or so, I've been praying a lot just for peace and just for a sense of where do I go from here. And am I supposed to stick by her as her friend? And struggling with not knowing the reason for the last 2 years. And when you don't have that closure, I think that makes it difficult as well. And I know I'm rambling, and maybe it's hard to keep up with where I'm at now, but you see, this is what I'm struggling with, and I spent a lot of time last night tossing and turning and thinking about this, and I'm not quite sure how to get past it. And yes, have I talked to a few people? I wouldn't say that we were dating necessarily, but I was getting to know them and trying to figure out whether or not I had the ability to move on yet. Um, and then I figured you just need to take care of you. You need to figure out why these relationships are not working. You need to figure out why you can be at the greatest places in your life. You have the car, you have the house, you have a job, you have all these things that you would think would be a good thing to come into a relationship with. But apparently there are other things about me that don't allow for relationships to last very long. And I've had these conversations with siblings. I've had these conversations with friends, and no one really can pinpoint what's happening. And maybe this is because I tend to draw people who are not meant for me. And where I may see some red flags at the beginning, maybe I am ignoring those red flags because I'm hoping that things will change or things will be different. It's hard to say at this point, and they sometimes say if you talk about it, you can answer your own questions. If you talk about it, you can figure out what's going on. And so I think my next step is to find a therapist that will work for me. And that may take more than one and a few sessions just to figure out whether or not it's going to work. So I just am in a place now where I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I have moments where I just start crying, and that is not usual for me. I am not a crier. That has never really been part of who I am. I tend to, I might get angry or upset, but I usually don't cry. And I've probably cried more in the last 4 months than I have in like 10 years. So something is going on, something is happening that I can't put my finger on. So it just seems like this may be the time to figure out what's happening, because I don't want this great life I feel like I have to become not so great a life. And I will continue to, try to do things on my own. And I think this is a really bad time to be going through this with the COVID stuff happening, because where I probably would not really think about this so much if I had the ability to leave, to travel, to go to different places. I could focus on other things. But since there's not a whole lot that can be done right now, I find that I am isolated. I am here basically alone 24/7 because I work from home, and then I'm home all the time pretty much. So that gives time for my head to wander, and for my head to conjure up things, and for my head to think about things. And while I could get in my car and drive around, I guess that still leaves me in a place where I'm in my head. Where if I could go somewhere like I did when I went to Vegas, and I met people and I talked to people, and my mind was focused on just the surroundings and the being in Vegas for the first time, and having a great time. I didn't get to go home this past summer, so not being able to spend time with some of my family members and some of my friends, I think that put a damper on things as well. So I don't know. This is my life right now, and I'm hoping to be able to give you some better videos later that shows me in a better place. But right now, I don't even know what to tell you that I'm feeling right now. Sometimes I'm just numb, and I don't think about anything, and I don't want to do anything, and I could care less about what's happening. Some days I'm excited, and I want to go places, and I want to do things. And some days I'm thinking about these issues. So I don't know where I go from here, but you may end up getting some videos on my journey through therapy, and see how things change and progress for me. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you all are doing well. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, but I imagine that I will continue to think about some of the things that have transpired over the last several days. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you for watching. Be somebody who makes somebody look forward to tomorrow. Peace out. God bless.